honestly didn't realize how many books I own. I really didn't know I had that many books. Hey guys, this is Damara and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna be showing you all the books that I own, which is a lot. Not as much as I would prefer it to be, but I have enough to cost me a lifetime. Because the thing is, I share a room with my sister, so we don't have enough space for me to have bookshelves, so I literally stack my books in my nightstand and they're like already up to the top. I'll show you a picture right here. And I've been wondering like how many books I have and like all the books that I have, because I look at it but I don't really remember. So I'm gonna be showing you every single book that I have. I literally have them sprawl out all over the floor, and we're going to be doing it by standalones first and then series, because I own a lot of series now that I realize, or like same books about the same, like same written by the same author. So I'm gonna be showing you all of my books and telling you if I like them and if I didn't and stuff like that. So let's get started. Also, if you can hear a fan, that's my fan because it's really hot in my room and I'm about to sweat my life away. So yeah, let's get started. I'm gonna start with the really boring books that I have, because I have some that it was for my classes that I had to read for my class. So yeah, so the first book that I own is A Long Walk to Water by Linda Sue Park, and I read it and I actually liked it. It was like a little novella, mini story, and I read it for my English class, and it was short and it was good. I don't really read like historical fiction. I mean, it was based on a true story, so it's like a real story. The book was really good. I liked it. I don't even know if I rated it on my Goodreads. This was like 2 years ago that I got this book. So that's that. Then I have A Long Way Down by Jason Reynolds. We were supposed to read it for a class. I never read it, honestly. I think I marked down my Goodreads that I read, but it's like poems on a story. I read most of the book, but I don't even remember what is it about. So just your normal school book that you would normally read. Then my sister was assigned for like her summer reading the first book of the Harry Potter series, and she bought the book and she didn't even read it, which, first of all, how I love Harry Potter and it's like my favorite books ever. So that's already, and I was like, oh, can I have it? And I read it and I really enjoyed it. I wish I could read like the whole series, but I want to own it because I just think it's really cool. This book is exactly like the movie, so I mean, I already knew it, but it was really good and I really enjoyed it, so that counts for that. Then it's like when book talk started and everybody started reading, so we're gonna start with our famous book talk videos books. So obviously They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. I mean, who didn't read this book? Like, I remember reading this book in like COVID days and I was like obsessed, and I was like, it's so good. When I read it, it was good, and I liked the overall story about the book. So I think it was pretty good, and I think I rated it 5 stars at the time. I haven't read it again, but I know that I annotated it. So yeah, that will not see the light of day. Then We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. I know that the next book in this series, A Family of Liars, I think that's what it's called, just came out. I don't think I'm gonna read it. The book was good. I did cry in the twist I didn't expect, so everybody hated on it, but I actually enjoyed it and I cried a lot. And I was like, that was the biggest plot twist of book talk history for me, because it was one of the first books I ever read. So the fact that I read that. Then I tried to get into my mental health reading book era, and I bought Atomic Habits, and I told my dad it was for a class, but in reality I just wanted to read it. I started highlighting it. Oh, one of my bookmarks, I missed that bookmark. I was like, where the hell is it? Yeah, I started reading it and it was so far so good. Like, I didn't mind it. I mean, it's very, if you really want to get into like habits and stuff, I feel like it's a really good book. It was just boring for me because I'm so used to reading romance at this point. That's all I read. But like, I would love to get back to it and read it again because I feel like it's very helpful, especially now that we're in the new year. So I mean, I'll recommend. My cousin gifted me this book because she wasn't gonna read it, so she was like, you can have it, and I read the back and it was really good. It's called The Last Thing He Told Me by Laura Dave. And the fact is, if you read the book first and then watch the series, I think it's in Prime Video, I believe, I don't know, but it was really good and I really enjoyed it. 5 out of 5 stars. Like, it was really entertaining. Like, I couldn't put it down, I think. Then we have one of my favorite like standalones, and everyone can agree, Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. I mean, if you haven't read this book, I feel like when it was like the OG cover, I bought this cover because I love how beautiful it is. And if you can see, I literally tabbed it, the whole thing. I really enjoyed it. One of my favorite books. I just love childhood, best friends to lovers, to strangers, to lovers again. So good. I definitely recommend. It's one of my favorites, and I reread it almost every year, and I like tabbed everything. So if you haven't read it, I mean, who hasn't? But if you haven't, you definitely should. One of my favorites. Another one of my favorites, because The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas. Like, I love Elena Armas with my whole entire heart, but this book changed my life. This is like my Roman Empire. Like, this book, it means so much to me. I tapped the hell out of it. Like, if I could like ever make you read one book, definitely this one. Aaron Blackford, love of my life. I was about to say Aaron Warner. We love him too. This book is so good, especially if you're Latina, Hispanic. Who wouldn't want to fall in love with a white boy? I mean, come on. And I've read every single one of her books. I read the American Exchange Student, like American Exchange something, and then her new book, The Long Game, and it was so good. I love anything that Elena Armas writes, I will read for the life of me. So you should do it too. Have If He Had Been With Me by Laura Nolan. I know that the second book in the series comes out this year. And when I read this book, I feel like I wasn't mentally well. So the plot twist didn't really get me because they tell you what happens in the first page. So it didn't catch me by surprise. But I want to reread it again because I feel like I didn't give it a fair shot. So I definitely will be reading it for the next month or something. I don't know, we'll see, but I'll definitely gonna keep it out so I can reread it again, because I feel like every book deserves a second chance, unless it's like super bad and you're not gonna like it. But I feel like this book deserves it, and I will be reading the second one when it comes out. So the next book is in a series, but I only own that book. I don't own the rest of the series, and is Throttle by Lauren Asher, and is in the Dirty Air series. And it's one of my favorite books because I love Formula One, and I feel like I read this book and then I watched Drive to Survive on Netflix, and then I was obsessed since then. And Formula One is like, I live with it now for the rest of my life. And this book, I enjoyed it. I mean, who doesn't know Noah? Like, he's the love of my life, and I picture him as Charles Leclerc. So I mean, come on, be so for real. And anything Lauren Asher like writes, I will read, and I literally need to get to reading Love Redesign. I have it on my January TBR and I haven't gotten to it yet, but I definitely will be reading it. And I mean, who doesn't love Lauren Asher? I'm gonna be going with a series that has been out for a while, and when book talk and everything was going on, I mean, I feel like every girl had a Wattpad phase until you jumped into the big life of book talk and like just general books. So I don't use Wattpad anymore. Sometimes I do, it depends. But I mean, who wasn't obsessed with the After series? Because I was. And these books were insane, crazy, and like, I don't even remember a time. And I remember reading all these books, and I was reading them back to back, like one day at a time. I don't even know, like I would use, like me and my cousin read After We Fell. And if you haven't read After We Fell, which you shouldn't because it's a waste of time, like this book is like thick, like massive. And me and my cousin read this book in like, and I kid you not, like under 24 hours. We did not go to sleep and we just read the whole series. It was insane. It was a time for sure. but I have the whole series. Do I read them? I read it once, never again. I tried to reread after again, but like I gave up. So I just have them as decoration because I feel like every girl had that face because everybody was obsessed with Harry Styles. I mean, I still am obsessed with Harry Styles, but that was prime time. So I need to talk about my favorite author, Taylor Jenkins Reid, because these books are just the best. Like, who doesn't love her? Because I do. I read the Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo first, and then I read Daisy Jones and the Six. And I heard this one's becoming a movie or a series. I don't even remember. But like, I tabbed the whole thing. Loved. 10 out of 10. Then I watched the series first. I watched like the first 2 episodes. They were just coming out. And I was like, I need to read the book first before I finish it. Read it in a day. Tabbed it. My favorite. Like, I couldn't even tell you how much I'm obsessed with it. Like, my brain is just like, and everyone that acted in the series, so good. Like, I'm obsessed, and I will be rereading this book because honestly, it's so good. Here's my summer love. The summer is so pretty. We'll always have summer, and it's not summer without you. I mean, Jenny Han. Favorite series of all time. Come on, who doesn't watch The Summer is So Pretty? It was prime time. It was summer. I was obsessed. I was still younger, so I really enjoyed it. I tried to reread it again, but I couldn't relate to it. But like when I first read it, I remember I posted, when I was like posting, I did a reading vlog for all these books, and then I deleted it because I was embarrassed. And I cried in every single, like, I feel like it was in the last book. It was one of those 2. They're so good. I feel like, who hasn't read these books? And the covers, they're just so pretty, and it's just like so summer, and I just really like it, and I just love these books with my whole entire heart, and I just feel like it deserves a hype, even though it's YA. I think it's YA because it's young adult and for kids. Who didn't have a clean Hoover face? Because let me tell you, I did. I love Colleen Hoover, even as controversial as that is. I feel like her books are very easy to read, and you could just like, they're a palate cleanser after you read like a hard, crazy book. And I didn't really mind them. Who didn't love It Ends With Us and It Starts With Us? I have both of them. The books are good, and I don't understand what you say. Like, yeah, some books are mid and they're questionable, but I had a great time reading them, and as long as the book is really easy to read, I'll do it. So I have those. Then Verity, I just reread this book last year, and I annotated it and tabbed it. This book is insane. It's crazy. It's a wild ride. It's disgusting at times, and I'm like, why am I reading? Why am I doing this to myself? But you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. I could not tell you what this book is about. I don't remember it. I literally bought it. I was like, oh yeah, I'll read it. And it's super short, but I don't remember what it's about. I feel like, yeah, Fallon and Ben, but I don't remember what the book's about. So, Ugly Love. I remember I gave it 4 stars because I didn't like some of the tropes that were in the book. It's a good book. At the time when I read it, like when I read it, I had a great time. If I were to reread it again, I probably would have given it lower. This is my favorite Colleen Hoover book. Like, I need to reread this book again because I just love it so much. I've never cried so much. Like, there are probably tears in this book because it's that good. I feel like this is one of her best books that she's ever come out with, honestly. And I just love the cover. It's so pretty. And this is gonna go to the pile of I need to reread. So that's for sure my favorite. If you don't know me at all, then you don't know that I am a big hockey fan, especially hockey romance. And this was the first ever series that ever made me fall in love with hockey, because I mean, who didn't go through this phase? The Deal in the off-campus, the overall off-campus series by Al Kennedy. Like, yeah, The Deal, The Mistake, The Score, and The Goal. And then The Legacy, which is all the couples in one book. and like they all go through their own thing. And if you don't know me, I just love this whole world. I love the off-campus world, and it's my favorite. I read Briar U series. I don't own them. I read them on Kindle, but these books are just the love of my life. I feel like I have to reread them again. I read The Graham Effect, which was amazing to jump back into this world again and seeing like how they grew up and everyone with their kids and everything. I just love it so much, and these books forever will hold a place in my heart. We have the last books that I own, which are the newest ones that I have because I haven't bought anything else because I'm broke. So I read everything on my Kindle now because I have no space for any more books. So as long as I move out or my parents move to another house and I have my own room, I cannot buy more books. So all the books that I'm reading are in my like Kindle and my iPad, and that's all I do. But the last series I bought was the Shatter Me series. I mean, Aaron Warner, the love of my life. These books are just amazing, even though I don't remember much about them because I read it when it was popular, and I read all the books like in a week, I kid you not. And I feel like I flew past them, that I don't remember most of it, which I need to reread them again. I don't have the novellas because I wasn't gonna waste $12 on like a 100-page book. I really wasn't gonna do that. But I did buy the hardcover ones of Shatter Me, Unravel Me, Ignite Me, which Ignite Me is my favorite book out of the whole series. Like, I've never cried so much, and I was like, I want to be in love, and I want Aaron Warner to be in love with me. That man is the love of my life, and this book just solidified that. Then Restore Me. I remember this book was ish. It wasn't that good. I don't remember much of it. Then Defy Me, and then Imagine Me. And I need to reread the whole series again because I don't remember anything. But I think I'm gonna do a reading vlog, rereading them again because they were just that good. And I feel like it's gonna be really fun to get back into that world because I had a really great time when I read those books. I was overall super excited. But I think that's all the books that I have. Now I just need to count them. So let me count them and I'll tell you how many books I have. I have 38 books in total of all the books that I own, which is crazy. My parents are gonna think that I'm crazy just by how many books. I feel like they don't even know because all these books I buy them like Christmas presents, birthday presents, and like anything. I always ask for like Amazon gift cards and money and Barnes and Noble's gift cards. So the fact that I own that many is insane. But yeah, those are all the books that I own. I really want to own more, but I just don't have any space for them. So I'm just not gonna keep buying books. I'm just gonna like read them on my Kindle, which is my iPad, in the Kindle app, because I don't even own a Kindle. I want to own a Kindle. That's like my goal in life, because I feel like, and anyways, I feel like I read better on like on my iPad or on my phone, which I do a lot. It's just easier for me. I feel like now that when I read like paperbacks, I'm just like, it takes a long time for me to read. But yeah, this is all for the video, and if you liked it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, turn your bell on, and my social medias are going to be down below. Don't forget to follow me on Goodreads so you can see what I'm reading right now in this exact moment, and I can't wait to see you guys next time. Bye.
That they would wash away so fast.